All right, welcome to 2 Cents Worth. I'm your host, Ryan Faber. Today's episode 39, we are talking Dad Bods. We're talking about Death to the Dad Bod, the hashtag that I use. You follow along on the Instagram. You've seen it for months on end and continue to see it as I work towards getting the body that I am working very hard on to meet my goal. And why I'm doing it, and I've talked about it a lot, but, we're going to just stay on this topic today. So, Death to the Dad Bod, the hashtag, where that came from, motivation behind it, as well as the Dad Bod in general, this, how do you put it, this movement, let's call it a movement, this movement through our culture of an acceptance of a body that is now marketed as the Dad Bod. So I'll talk about the origin of, quote unquote, why I took on the hashtag Death to the Dad Bod. And then also I wanted to give my opinion on Dad Bods in general. So I have a person that works for me out of New York. They will remain nameless. They know exactly who they are. And for most of you listening to this, if you work with me in corporate America, you can narrow that down because I only have a couple people that work for me in New York. And we were out to dinner about a year ago, and I was about to give it away. I'm not going to give away the person's name, but we were having a conversation, and she brought up the fact that she was dating someone, and they were doing powerlifting type competitions, and she thought it was hilarious because how hard he worked in the gym. This is the type of people that I have working for me, which is more in line with the persona that I have. So I kind of appreciated it. At the same time, I made it a joke to take total offense to it, and then called her out on multiple occasions. But she thought it was hilarious that this guy worked so hard to do powerlifting, and yet he had what she called a belly and a quote-unquote dad bod. And at that dinner, I was with another person that worked for me at the time. And, we're in our 30s, and she at the time was not. She was in her late 20s, and we both have children. So we pretended to take total offense to the fact that she didn't appreciate this hard work that this young man was putting in because he had the quote-unquote dad bod. And for us with kids, that's what I'm also going to get into later on in here is I hate the term dad bod for like guys in college or guys in their 20s. I'm sorry. I understand that as a body type, quote unquote, but to actually get the leeway to have a dad bod, in my opinion, you should actually be a dad, for the fact that kids take up a lot of your time. They suck the life out of you. They suck motivation out of you. And they require quite a bit of attention, especially in the early years. So it is harder to go to the gym. It is harder to take care of yourself. It is harder to have a balanced diet. So therefore, that is what the dad bod, and that is the people I give leeway to, are the dads out there that are still figuring it out, working through it, trying to get a schedule down, having trouble getting in the gym, having trouble finding motivation. I give you the leeway. For those of you without children and taking and owning the dad bod body type, shame. How dare you? Shame on you. You lazy pieces of shit. Get your ass to the gym. I have 2 children. I get up every single morning at 4:30 in the morning. I go to the gym. You got the time. There are 1,440 minutes in the day. You can find 30 minutes, at the least 30 minutes, to get some exercise in. 90 days to make something a habit. Change your diet, change your routine, do something. 1,440 minutes in a day. You can take 30 minutes to take care of yourself. Anyways, back to the story. So what I did say was that I was going to talk about that part later. Obviously, I just got it out. So we can indulge a little more, and I can give you more of my opinion on the matter. But so we pretended to obviously take offense to this, and at the same time, it was not a awakening for me, but more so of a I work out every morning. I still take care of myself. Diet is always hit and miss for me. Diet is something that is always hit and miss. For instance, I'm having a beer right now while I'm talking to you all, and that's just something I do, and I talk about that a lot. I've tried to incorporate, if I do drink more on any particular day, to incorporate clear alcohol, the vodkas, the gins, with lower calorie mixers. Um, so I'm not sucking down a lot of calories for a beer or 12 every time the weekend rolls around. But the diet and the alcohol have always been the biggest challenge for me. The exercise, not that much, but I do it so I can have the quote unquote cheat meals. And I hate saying cheat meals. Like it's just meals. Like I don't want to continuously hold myself to that and like have this strict diet. Oh, you get a cheat meal. No, you can incorporate those meals, but just make sure you're balancing that back out properly for exercise. If you're gonna have a little unhealthier meal or a higher caloried meal, maybe don't mix in 5-6 beers to go down with it. And again, that's the type of thing that I'm working on and getting better at. But at that point in time in that story, I thought it was kind of funny that she's calling this guy out and saying he has a dad bod, and I'd if you know me for a while, out of college, I left college at 190. Former baseball player in college, athlete, and ballooned up to 215. Kind of just left the gym all alone. And at 23 years old, I went from 190 to 215. And in my pictures of my wedding, I look like a sweaty, fat Ryan. And there was motivation there, obviously, for however many years now. I'll be married 12 years next week to my beautiful wife, Lindsay. So it's been a long journey. Now I've owned the Dad Bod hashtag. I've owned it. I haven't owned it. I've procured it. I've taken it to make it my own. Someone else had already had it because it was already a hashtag that I had found in regards to the Dad Bod. But it's been a 12-year journey of really trying to get my weight back down, and it's fluctuated. It's gone up and it's gone back down. I've never gotten back up to 215. For a while there, I was around 200. And to start this year, I was at 197. And if you go back in episodes, I talk about that quite a bit. And right now I'm around 185. I've incorporated much more cardio. I've changed my diet a lot to where now it's not, I don't really consider it a diet. It's more of like what I eat. So like tonight for dinner, it's going to be a steak salad. So we have steak tips from Butcher Box. They're delicious. I'll grill them up, and then we'll mix that all together with salad, a little bit of dressing, not a lot, and that's my dinner. And it's a good dinner, and it's light, and it's a hot day out today, so it's a nice, refreshing dinner. And we'll do that a lot more. So we've changed our way of eating, meal planning, all that stuff, to where Lindsay as well has really driven a lot of that. So she plans a lot of our meals, and I'm the one that executes on the cooking of the meals, which helps. For lunches, it's just become, I was a guy years ago working at the same company, went out to eat every single day for lunch. Every day, 5 days a week. I've changed that up to where I now basically sit at my desk, which I hate that I sit behind my desk because I'd sit behind it all day. I should get up and change scenery, and I might start doing that again. But I eat in my office 5 days a week now, and I don't go out to eat anymore. I bring my lunch, and that's the lunch I have, and it's and it's usually a salad with tuna or chicken, a thing of carrots, a half of an apple, and a protein bar, and that's my lunch most days. I kind of vary it up. If there are leftovers, we incorporate some of that from the night before. But I really try and drive that now to where it isn't I don't really consider it a diet. It's more of, this is just the food I eat. And I still mix in things like pizza and Chinese food and takeout, whatever else, right? That still comes into play, but I'm more strict around what I'm putting in my body for the majority of my meals. My breakfast is usually a half an apple and a protein shake, and it keeps me full until about lunchtime. Um, and then that's my lunch, and then my dinner, again, like it said, we pre-plan everything so nothing is like, hey, we get home and nothing's been taken out or prepared, so all right, let's just get something ordered and delivered to us. And that's where we used to be. But now that the boys are at an age to where, you know, if they wake up, they can kind of take care of themselves in the morning. If I'm at the gym and Lindsay's still asleep, or she's getting ready for work and I'm at the gym, or vice versa, she's at the gym, I'm trying to get ready for work, they don't require the 100% attention anymore, to where we can actually focus again more so on our health and have a schedule. So again, like I said before, I wake up every morning at 4:30. I go to the gym at 5 to 6. I work out. I come home. Lindsay works out from 6 to 7. And we get the boys off to school and daycare or whatever by 8. And then our day starts, right? So we're knocking that out in the morning. So to start this year, it was 197 the weight. And, I had taken the whole conversation from dinner months before, and it was still funny to me that I would always kind of call this person out on team calls or whatever else about how she said I had a dad bod. Though that was never the story. I twisted the story to make it funnier to the rest of the team, saying that, this person called me out and said I had a dad bod, and, indirectly said it and da-da-da-da. But obviously that's not true. She didn't say that. But the way that I motivate myself is it's not like self-hate or like self-deprecation. It's more so of, where do you want to be? What's going to motivate you? And motivating me is, to me, and some of you might be like this, others want the encouragement of others. I'm someone that's like, if I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you don't look great today. Like that, as fucked up as that sounds, like that's what motivates me, is like looking at myself in the mirror and going, you're fat today. It's so shitty. That's a horrible mindset to have if you think about it, because that's where a lot of people talk about like how their eating disorders come in. Like the mirror makes, even they could be the skinniest person, but in their mind turns it into where they're looking at themselves and they're looking and they see themselves as overweight. I'm not like that. I don't see it that way. But my motivating factor is, I go and weigh myself. I'm 187, 188. Nope, I need to be 185. You got to work harder today. Okay, like that's just where that's how I keep myself motivated. It's more of that, not like self-hate, like, oh my god, you're a fat piece of shit, you need to fix yourself. No, it's be healthy, enjoy the quote unquote finer things in life, your alcohols and your bad food, but still find time for the gym, find time to get up and do things. So I took on the hashtag death to the dad bod. And it was when I started getting back into running. My buddy Matt, who's never been a runner in his entire life that I've known him, started running this year. And that was motivating too, was that having somebody close to you that was working on bettering themselves as well. Because we're in the same boat. Our kids are basically the same age. We've been friends since 2000, so 19 years. We vacation together. We spend quite a bit of time together. So we see each other on a weekly basis, if not more. And it's motivating when someone like that, just the same way that I was, right? College baseball player, same type of body build and frame. He's starting to run and let me know how many miles he's running and this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'll get into the running as well. And then it was, okay, so he's helping with the motivation. What else is going to motivate me and maybe motivate some other people is this thought of the dad bod, this new acceptance to being, call it what it is, not fat, maybe chubby in certain areas. You don't have a six pack. There's not a lot of definition. You're not fat, but you're not in shape. But that's okay. That's acceptable. Um, and it was, you know what? To me personally, I don't find that overly acceptable if you aren't somebody that has kids. You can't own the dad bod if you don't have children. I'm sorry. I'm I'm taking you out of the bucket. You're not allowed to be in there. That's just that's it. You can't be in the bucket. You're not a dad bod. You cannot own it if you do not have children. I am sorry. So it was more of, hey, I'm someone that has a dad bod at this point in time. I don't like having the dad bod. I'm going to try and get myself motivated to do what I can to get rid of it. Boom, I got a friend in Matt motivating me, right? Letting me know his runs. I'm letting him know my runs, the runs that I go on. And he's telling me what he did in the gym that day. I'm letting him know what I did in the gym that day. I have my buddy Pete, shows up every single morning, motivating to be at the gym, right? It's harder to go to the gym if you go by yourself or if you have a workout partner that's not reliable. Pete, reliable, always there, majority of the time, 99% of the time, always there. 99% of the time, always there. 99% of the time, there. A few instances where he's not, but he lets me know in enough time, right? So I can mentally prepare, but I'm still awake and I'm still prepared to go to the gym. Motivating, right? Having him there every morning to get the work done and the program that we have done. Boom. That. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm on Instagram with this podcast. Let's put it into, if any listeners are out there or anybody that follows me just on social media, maybe they can be motivated by it. You know what? Let's get a hashtag. And if anybody else follows that hashtag, they see what I'm doing and maybe that motivates them. So then I would do that for my run. Anytime I go out on a run, or if I worked out, it would always be, hey, here's my workout, hashtag death to the dad bod. Because what I'm doing, and the reason why I say death to the dad bod, is I'm trying to kill the dad bod that I have and trying to form it into something that is not, that would not be considered a dad bod. Now, I've heard and I watched some videos before I did this episode just to see, what is the thought around the dad bod? What are people saying? And there's this common theme that popped up, and it was kind of hilarious to me because of just people's mindsets in general of the folks that are in good shape and go to the gym. And I found, and the people that they were interviewing weren't in bad shape either, but like just the mindset of those people that have a six pack or have a lot of muscle definition and whatnot. And the constant thing that kept on coming up was dad bod or six pack. And most of the people were going, probably the dad bod, because having a six pack, it makes it seem like you're just working too hard on it. Excuse me? So, wait a minute. I'm confused. You would wait. You're telling me that because the person has a six pack, you're going to look down on them? Basically, kind of look down on them or look at them in a way of, I'd rather have someone that's got the dad bod because that shows that they don't care too much about their health. And I'd rather have a person like that than a person with a six-pack that is focused on their health, focused on their body, what they're putting into it, somebody that might be motivating. Now, there are some people that obviously are very self-absorbed and that go to the gym on a constant basis and are extremely impressed with their body type. But let me tell you, I've been going to the gym for a long time. Those people do exist. But you'll find more often than not the people that are actually in very good shape are very personable, and they're doing it for the right reasons, or they're doing it for things that motivate them. A lot of the guys that we know that do it, they do it for competitions. And it's not this thing of like, well, I just want to see myself up on stage and show everybody. Because let me tell you, when you're up on stage with everybody else, they're all in the same shape you are. So it's not like you're better than anyone else. They're just trying to take care of their bodies and get better and build something. That's what motivates them, right? So the thought that people right now in society would rather have someone with a dad bod than a six pack because the six pack makes it seem like you work too hard. Huh. Look, I'm going to tell you this. I'm never going to have a six pack. I did when I was a kid because that's what all kids have. They all have six packs because you're skinny as shit because you're running around constantly on a daily basis. Me, sit behind a desk. I work out in the morning. I try and get some cardio in after work. Not always the case. Uh, you know, if I was to get a six pack, I'd probably have to lose another 8 to 10 pounds of fat, not muscle, fat. Right, so it's still a process there, and I'm not gonna get there. But what I want to do from a dad bod perspective is be able to get to the proper weight that I need to be at, create a good habit for myself, so then not only am I creating a better me, I am helping maybe others be motivated for what I'm doing, right? Maybe I'm motivating Matt as much as Matt has motivated me. Maybe I motivate Pete as much as Pete motivates me. Maybe I'm motivating somebody I've never even met because they're in a similar type situation that I'm in. Or they're in a completely different type of situation that I'm in, but they saw something I did, or they follow me, or they might listen to this and go, you know what? Why not give it a shot? Why not change what I'm doing? If he can do it, why can't I do it? And I'm not anything special. I don't have this crazy busy schedule. I have a full-time job. I have 2 kids. I'm married. So things do come up. They do take all of that takes time, but I still find the time to take care of myself. And my kids see that. The kids enjoy pretending to work out with us or trying to work out with us. If we do like house workouts or garage workouts, they want to be a part of that. So it's motivating to them, hopefully, seeing that their parents are taking the time to work on their fitness and their health. They're seeing us eat healthy meals that are good and nutritious, and they taste good and they're filling, and not always eating junk. Uh, and so hopefully, again, motivating peers, motivating our kids, motivating my wife. Hopefully what I do motivates my wife, and watching her and what she's done, giving birth to 2 kids and going through 2 pregnancies, that takes a lot out of your body, and watching her motivates me. The fact that now that she's never been a morning person, but she's up every morning, gets to the gym at 6 every morning. So she's now making that her routine, and she's worked through injuries now on running and everything. And I talked about that on last episode, and I'll have her on this season to talk about rehab and the mental side of it and the physical side of it and the emotional side of going through it. Because I could never imagine, doing something that I've done my entire life and got a scholarship to do. And then all of a sudden it's basically taken away from you from over a year. And that's running for her. If I was still playing baseball and I had this horrific injury and they just couldn't, they just diagnosed it wrong twice and just went through this whole rehab process and it just didn't work. And it would be very difficult to continue on that path to recovery. But, seeing that as well from her motivates me. So, I use the death to the dad bod, bring that all back, use the death to the dad bod for motivation. When I type that on there in social media, right, like so many times on social media, you only see the positive side of what people are doing. And for me, that's a motivator when I put a picture up of myself, because I might look at that picture and be like, yeah, look, holding a little water weight there underneath the chin after a picture I put on here or whatever. I'll look at that and be like, yep, motivating to me. Death to the dad bod. Let's keep on working towards it. It's a process. And we talk about it, and I've talked about it a lot on here, of like making things a habit. It takes 90 days. I read somewhere, it's a while ago, but when you go to the gym, sometimes it takes 6 to 9 months before you see actual results and changes in your body, because your body is trying to figure out basically what you're doing and what you're trying to change into it. And I think that's also another thing for people, is that they give up so quickly. They want this instant satisfaction, this instant result. Because a lot of times when you go on these diets, right, and can't remember if I've touched on this before, but you go on these diets and you lose 6, 8, 10 pounds in the first week. You're like, shit, this is going to be easy. Well, guess what? Most of that's your water weight. That's the stuff that you're kind of holding that your body's ready to get rid of once you change some things up. And then you plateau for a while, and that's where it gets to people. I want to let you guys know, if you've listened this long enough, if you've listened this long enough, if you listen this long, it's a process. This has been a 12-year journey for me, with ups and downs, starts and stops, different gyms, different workout partners, doing cardio, not doing cardio, eating horrible, eating better, horrible again, eating good again. 12 years, 13 years kind of. I went from college athlete, 190 pounds, to 215, and still working myself back to where I want to be. And I'm 185 now. Fluctuate here or there, back and forth. Still want to try and get down to 180. Build some more muscle, some more strength, and be in the best shape that I've been in a long time. It's a process. It does not happen overnight. And let me tell you, it is frustrating. It is hard. If it was easy, everyone would look like a fucking supermodel, because you could make it happen like that. It's not. It's hard. It does take work. So these people that say, oh, have a six pack, it's because they work hard. They work too hard. And I'm not in a prime condition, so I don't want somebody that has a six pack to be my partner. I'd rather have them have a dad bod. I disagree wholeheartedly with that. I think that's a shame that that's their mindset, and that if you have a six pack or you're working towards it, yeah, you are working hard, and I applaud you for that, because I've been going through that journey for 13 years now. And will I ever have the ideal body that I want to have? Maybe not, but I'm still going to continue to work on it. So that's why I use Death to Dad Bod. That's why I found it and now use it for every post that I have. It's what motivates me. It's the people around me that motivate me, my friends, my family, my kids, myself. I use myself as someone to motivate, right? Like I said, if I look at a picture of myself, that's a motivating thing for me. It's to get to the gym and knock out 30 minutes of cardio, or don't skip tomorrow, go. Because Pete's going to be there, and you don't do that to a friend because he doesn't do it to you, right? Matt knocked out a 5-mile run. Well, maybe I'll knock out a 3 or 4 mile run tomorrow and see if I can get a good time on it, or do 5 miles like he did and see if we can get close on our time together, right? That's motivating to me. And that's the origin of it. That's where it came from. I can thank the person that works for me out of New York. If you're listening, thank you. You can claim part ownership of this if it ever takes off. I'll give you some royalties on it. But that's it. That's the Death to the Dad Bod. That's the Dad Bod. My opinion is, I don't think you should own Dad Bod if you don't have kids. That doesn't make any sense to me. I have 2 kids. I know what it takes. For fathers out there that are struggling a little bit and having a hard time getting motivated to get back into the gym because the kids do tire you out. And I was joking earlier about how they suck the life out of you and da-da-da. No, they just take up a lot of time. They take a lot of energy. They seem to have an abundant amount of it, and yet we as parents seem to have zero amount of it, which is the hilarious part. But just know there's 1,440 minutes in a day. Try and find the time. Try and get yourself back on track. Do it for your kids. Show them a healthy lifestyle so they can grow up and continue on that path and have a healthy lifestyle. That's what I want for my kids. That's what I want for myself. That's what I want for others around me that see what Lindsay and I are doing or what we're doing as individuals, but then also as a family. Just know, just because you have a dad bod does not mean that that's the body that you have to have forever. It's a process. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes time. It takes dedication. But make it a part of your lifestyle, make those changes, and you can get out of the slump or the dad bod. We can kill the dad bod. Those of you in college and those you 20-year-olds that are claiming dad bod, I'm going to leave you with this. Get the fuck out of here. Good night.